Alright, hey guys, what is up? It is Bibzuda here once again for some more Outlast trials here on the 1.0 update that just released a few minutes ago. I am going to be going over all of the stuff that was added with this update, just kind of giving an overview of all that and talking about my thoughts on the new additions of like amps and different changes that they made. Also interesting to see they did reset the Reborn counter here, and there's been quite a few big changes to the whole structure of a lot of stuff that I kind of wasn't expecting, but is definitely interesting. So yeah, I'm going to go over that here. First of all, I want to go over, I think, the changes to the loadout, which are quite impactful here. As you can see, rigs are still the same, and also there are no new prescriptions added. There's just still the 3 tiers of RX at the moment. But amps have been changed quite a bit. There's now 3 categories of amps: tool, skill, and medicine, and you only get to pick 1 amp from each of these categories. So as you can see here in this tool category, there's slippers and noise reduction. So like you have to pick only one of the amps that are in this category, and there are 2 new ones that are added that are included in this category. So right now it's slippers, cacophony, noise reduction, battery charger, lock breaker, and recycle, which were existing. And then there's an additional one called keymaster, which makes lockpicking guaranteed to be successful on its first try, and each lockpick has 2 uses. Not that useful in my opinion. And then backpack, which gives you an additional inventory slot, meaning you can have a total of 5 inventory slots, which is quite a lot. But probably, in my opinion, noise reduction is just easily the best here. I don't think there's really any contest. Maybe in certain situations, like in different weeklies, you'll maybe want to take backpack if your inventory is quite restricted otherwise, but in general, I would say noise reduction is probably still clear best. And then we have the skill category, which the existing ones include hide and heal, hide and breathe, quick escape, and strong arm. And there's been 4 new ones added to this category, one of them being smash, which is what I bought with my remaining 3 tickets, because this one does sound like it'd be pretty good. You can break through locked doors or planks in 1 strike instead of the normal 2 with the RX, or if you don't even have that, it takes 3. And then there's also this one, invisible. Enemies can't find you in a hiding spot even if you peek. Probably not super useful unless there's something like Winter Kills comes back where you have to use hiding spots. That could be potential for using that. This one sounds not too bad, but it's probably not that useful if you're aware of, when you're opening doors and stuff. But door traps will shatter when doors are open normally. I assume that means they just won't damage you. They'll just break and won't go off. That's what it sounds like. Otherwise, I mean, it would be no point in even listing that. But then if you open it slowly, the trap is just disarmed instead, and then you can like obviously grab the battery if you want. So that one's not terrible, but probably not great for someone who's experienced. And then hide and restore, which makes it so when you enter a hiding spot, your rig cooldown will restore 50% faster, which is quite a lot faster, but probably not worth it compared to, and it's honestly a tough choice for me between strong arm and smash, but I think strong arm is probably still better. I'm not too sure. Smash does sound quite good, and maybe you'll want to take smash on trials where variators include things that added a lot of additional barricades and things like that, because it'll be a lot easier to get around more quickly with the ability to break through those barricades in 1 hit instead of the 2, as I mentioned. So yeah, that'll probably be something you can alternate between, but there's also been changes again to bricks, which will impact strong arm as well. I'll get into those in a sec. And then the last category is medicine, which is generally the least useful in terms of the amps. There's double doses for that already existed, antitoxin, surplus, and last chance. There's also incognito, which was previously nightcrawler, and it seems they've just removed the condition of being in the darkness for this to work. Your crouching walk speed is now just permanently enhanced. I'm not sure if it's reduced to like a lower amount of increased speed, just to compensate for the fact that it's always active or not, but they did change that, and that's in this category. And then the new ones are good job. Finishing an assignment will replenish a portion of your health with a brief cooldown before it can be used again. Anything that requires you to be damaged to be useful, I think, is not good, because personally I like to go for the A pluses, and getting damaged is definitely contrary to the goal there. Boosted actually does sound like it's not too bad. It'll start a trial with a random booster in your inventory, like the ones you get from the secret room, health, stamina, or battery. I mean, I don't think you can stack them. I remember at some point I was able to try using 2 of them and it didn't do anything. But I mean, giving a stamina booster at the start of a trial would be really, really good. Health would be kind of useless and battery would be okay. So it's kind of like an RNG one, which is not great in that aspect, but it does sound like it could be kind of strong. And then self-revive, resurrect after death once per trial. Probably just for people who are trying to like speed run and don't care about dying and stuff, but not useful for someone like me. So with what I have right now, definitely going to stick with incognito. The existing ones here are really not useful for me at all. And then the only other one I would maybe consider is boosted, because that one might be good. But an interesting change to the loadout system here, and some difficult choices will probably have to be made, especially, I mean, like this one, I do think noise reduction is just clear best, but it is a shame having to miss out on things like this backpack increase and slippers and things like that. And then having to decide between strong arm and smash is kind of tough as well. Now, what they changed with strong arm, which, well, not exactly changed with strong arm, but basically bricks now have 2 uses again. Previously, they had 3 uses before they would be destroyed. Then they nerfed it so they were only a single use, and this is when you're hitting an enemy with them. Sorry about that, but yeah, they previously were only a single use, but now they're back up to 2 uses on enemies. However, if you have strong arm active, it's still only 1 use. So but I mean, the thing is, it more than doubles the amount of time they're knocked down for with a brick, as long as you're using them not on like, you know, the prime assets or anything. But kind of an interesting trade-off there. I would probably say it's most likely still best to use strong arm, but given the fact that this smash one does exist, which sounds like it'll be pretty good, maybe it'll be worth using over that. I'm not 100% sure. As far as rig changes as well, in the patch notes, there weren't a whole ton of rig changes. They actually buffed the blind rig, which was nice. They reduced the deploy time by 1 second and increased the amount of time the smoke is around for quite a bit of time. I'm not sure exactly the numbers, but they buffed it a decent amount, basically because the fact that it no longer will stun them when they walk into the smoke after the bloom is, you know, that was quite a big nerf to it, which made sense, but having that smoke stick around for a bit longer now to maybe be able to play around and use for those bigger trial objectives is nice. So I was glad to see that. And then stun, they also buffed quite a bit. They reduced the cooldown by 50% on it. And also, if you miss an enemy and don't hit someone with it, it'll now, there's this upgrade that you can get, which is this one. And it'll now reduce the cooldown by 75% instead of 50. So apparently you can use it to do things like disarm traps and stuff, which I never really thought of using it for, to be honest. But if you get 75% of the cooldown back when you do that, that could be quite a good useful case for a stun. X-ray and heal, they also made it so you can use these while you're in a hiding spot, which is probably nice. I've never really used either of these. That's the only thing they changed with heal. And then with X-ray, they also added a little bit of an additional change to make it so that you can see your teammates or whatever, like any team members will be shown through X-ray as well. And that's kind of interesting, I think. For I don't know who really uses X-ray exactly, but apparently it's you know, they're really trying to make it have some sort of use. But they also increased the cooldown on it to 45 seconds. So it does have a pretty short cooldown in comparison to the others. Like stun rig is 2 minutes. Blind, I'm not sure, probably similar. But yeah, not a huge change to the rigs. Main big change to loadout is the amps. So that was interesting. Also, they've enabled achievements on Steam. So when I opened up my badges, I got 26 achievements instantly. So that was kind of funny. I just need to use a few more antidotes to get the final achievement for this one, which, I mean, won't be hard to do. I'll just have to, you know, troll and get my psychosis active to be able to do that. I was surprised to see there's no new evidence added as well with this full release, but yeah, maybe they'll add some of that in the future. Apparently there's you have the ability to talk to the people around here while you're doing, like, as you progress through trials and get like story information from them. So like Doris and the Noakes, the rig guy. I don't know about maybe the pharmacy lady as well, but that'll be probably pretty interesting. They changed the UI for buying the rigs as well. They have it now separated into the 3 categories, but other than that, it's pretty much the same. Nothing that requires any higher level than the current max, which was 56, but now the new max level is 65, which will get you the 9 new amps that were added. So yep, that's pretty cool. That's what I'll be trying to get. I am of course 56, but now I need 6,800 XP to get up to 57, and then it'll probably increase more from there as we go. And now the big addition is the changes to the trials, which I'm going to get into now. So there is a lot of additional changes that I wasn't expecting outside of just the, of course, new addition of the Toy Factory. I haven't done any trials yet, but and I haven't even looked at this screen, so we're going to check it out together. Okay, wow. Yeah, quite a change. So now we only have 4 trials here, and as you can see, the Sharp Glass Weekly Therapy has returned, which is interesting. I wonder if you get a the poster isn't showing up here, but maybe that's because I already have it. So yeah, the Sharp Glass Weekly is back, so they're starting to recycle them. I'm not sure how much they're going to be doing that for, but that's what they're doing right now. But yeah, basically instead of the different trials being separated into their own programs, there's now a singular core therapy called Program Genesis. Then you have Program X, which has been reworked once again. And then this new program called Program Ultra, which is called the Path to Hell. It's supposed to be a difficult endgame therapy. So let's see what we have here in the core Program Genesis. Yeah. So apparently this is just all of the trials, or at least most of them. And the point of this is they've actually changed the way you do rebirth. They've changed it so that you don't have to just do Program X to get your rebirth tokens. Now you can get it from, and that's kind of the whole point of this Program Genesis, to give you enough to get reborn. You'll get 2 from a main trial and 1 from an MK challenge, and you'll need 20 of these in order to, go through and do the ending segment and get reborn. So, kind of interesting that they've changed that, and you just get them from every single trial, no matter where you do them. Now, here in Program Genesis, none of the trials have variators, and it's never repeated. So as you can see, here's the new trials. You got Pervert the Thunderman, Crush the Sex Toys, and Incinerate the Sex Toys on the new Toy Factory map. Looking forward to giving these a shot for sure. But yeah, that's what this is, basically just a run through of most of the missions in the game, although it doesn't have all of the MK challenges. As you can see, we're missing one here. The Release the Prisoners one isn't here unless it's further down. Yeah, no, there's just 2 from every trial. So they don't have all of the MK challenges in here, but supposedly as long as you do all of these, you'll get enough tokens to claim your rebirth. Also, interestingly, they've added an additional, or I think they've reintroduced a reward for A+ that you get, but it's only XP now. It used to be money, I think, before. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I do believe that is the case. So that's kind of nice to have that additional incentive to go for an A+. I'm not too sure how I feel about the programs all being combined here like this. It's a little bit strange because now you can't just go do, I mean, I guess you can once you have it fully unlocked, but I wonder what'll happen if you go through all of this and then do a rebirth. Like, is this all going to lock back up again, like, or not? I don't know. Then we have Program X, which is only available now after you do a single rebirth. So you have to go through at least an entire run through of Program Genesis and do the rebirth protocol to unlock Program X, which is kind of an interesting change to the approach there. And yeah, Program X is designed to test the physical and psychological limits of the reagent. Okay. But yeah, so now this is where the variators start coming in. In the Program Genesis, there aren't even variators. So that was kind of an interesting thing there. We have Gather the Children of God, and these are all having stronger enemies, increased traps, unreliable doors. Just a couple of MK challenges there. Then you have Cleanse the Orphans Exam, which has a couple of variators on it there. And an interesting change is, one thing that was kind of standardized before was the XP rewards. So as you can see, 500 XP for the A+, 1,000 for just completing it. And also, these don't change anymore once you've completed it. So doing reruns of trials will have no downside anymore like it did before, which was kind of an annoyance that you'd like never want to redo one and just run through Program X to get your rewards every time. But as you can see, so like just a full trial, Kill the Snitch, 500 XP for A+, 1,000 XP for completing it, and 500 Murkoff dollars. But if I go to Program X here and do a similar, like, a full trial right here, You can see the XP is actually increased to 1250 for just completing it, and all the other rewards are the same. But also interestingly, this is blue. I wonder if that actually means you get different cosmetic rewards. But basically, excuse me, in Program X, the rewards are better than in the original Program Genesis, and then Program Ultra, they're even better again, as we'll see once we go look over there. So you have Cleanse the Orphans exam, Vindicate the Guilty exam, and then Kill the Snitch exam, which has this new legendary poster in it, and that is increased threat, increased traps, limited items, limited intel, unreliable doors. Okay. So they don't have the new trial in here in Program X, which is kind of surprising to me, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be in Program Ultra. And do these just, yeah, these have, oh, well, not the same. Well, yeah, increased traps. And then what's this? Extra traps. I mean, what's the difference? Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of interesting. A lot of MK trials in the Program X, and then just 3 full trials. So that's just something to note. And then moving on now to Program Ultra, this is only available after you've done 3 rebirths. So thankfully I did 1 final rebirth before this update, so I do have 3 done. I didn't even know that would be required, but yeah, good to know, good to have that available. And now we have Program Ultra. Ultra is an extreme endurance program designed to test mental anomalies in the face of near certain lethality. Wow. Warning level 40 plus is recommended. Harsh. Okay, so it's pretty short. And there's only 1 variator called Ultra. Extreme enemies, hostile environment, extended rig cooldown, less inventory space, no intel, and no player names. Wow. Less inventory space is interesting. But you do get 2,000 XP for completing the trial, which is a big increase from the base of Program Genesis's 1,000. It's doubled. And then you also do get an additional 50% money. So you normally would get 500, but instead you get 750 in here. But they only have the Grind the Bad Apples trial, and then some scattered, looks like we're missing an MK challenge from the courthouse. Instead we have 2 from the police station, but some MK challenges, and then the new trial here at the end, Pervert the Futterman. So interesting to see that. So it kind of does look like things like seem a little bit shorter now, although yeah, because like there's less, or well, I'm comparing it more so to the original iteration where there was like 3 different versions of the full trial with different variators and stuff like that with repeats, which I guess maybe people didn't like. I don't know. But it just seems like there's a little bit less variety in what to do, because all of these have like the same exact variators on them. So there's not a whole lot of difference there, except for the final one in there. But I don't know too much how I feel about these. You guys can let me know your thoughts, I guess, in the comments if you are playing the update. But still, I mean, I find Program Ultra is going to be pretty interesting. I'll probably make a video for each of these when I go in solo. They also said they rebalanced the difficulty, which they didn't explain at all what that actually meant. Let me see. What did they say exactly? It was pretty unhelpful. Yeah, all it says is solo play and difficulty. We've implemented adjustments in difficulty, trial structure, and progression. So it doesn't really say much about what that means, but we'll have to see. Okay, Noakes, Barlow, and Easterman are the ones who have story and content. So I'm going to see if I have that accessible for me immediately. Barlow is the prescription person, right? I don't know. It just says the pharmacist. Yeah, so this listen button, I assume, will give me some story content. That's interesting. I'll be looking into that myself later on. I'm a fan of that being added as well. Let me check the list here if there's anything else that I wanted to mention. There's a toy factory, the storylines. The program structure is revamped. We still have the weekly program changing every Tuesday, as we know. And yeah, so when I was reading through this, I didn't realize that they had removed the basic, like, you know, trial 1, trial 2, whatever, and just I thought Program Genesis was like an additional on that list, but no, actually it is its own thing. So I mean, something to get used to and different, but we'll see how that goes. There's apparently a new conclusion for after you do your rebirth. I believe that'll be interesting to see what that's about. Of course, we'll still have the experimental programs whenever there's an event going on. Therapy level max increased to 65, as I mentioned. Those new amps, rig balancing I did talk about, the brick changes. And yeah, of course, there's new cosmetics added to things. They've also said that performing jumps or jumping over things while exhausted will now have a short stumble animation. So be interested to see what that impacts. Like, is it meaningfully long enough to make a difference? Also, unlucky for any of you who didn't purchase a bunch of stuff prior to the full release, but oh wow, we've got a lot more of these things. What are they called again? Bundles. Holy smokes, that's a ton more. It's a lot of money. But basically, oh, okay. So here's okay. I'll take a look at the DLC items as well. But basically, any white items now, which were all previously 100, are now 250. So they've gone up in price by 150%, which is pretty brutal. So if you didn't end up purchasing a bunch of stuff prior to the full release, unlucky, because they have gone up in price quite a bit. Thankfully, I did buy almost everything. I was only missing sinks and floors beds and floors prior to the update. I bought all the cosmetics and stuff like that. But so these are what you can pay for, and it doesn't, like, clicking on this actually doesn't do anything. So I'm not 100% sure how you even. Okay, so yeah, this is where you can talk to Easterman as well for story content. By the way, I'm not actually sure where you even buy it, to be honest with you, because I didn't see it on the Steam store page, unless it's just not been. Oh, okay. Yeah, the store page was weird for a little bit. There was 3 different versions of the game that you could buy. One was Outlast Trials, which was the original price of $30. Now there's $40 version and also a $50 deluxe edition. So they've removed the $30 version now, and there's the DLC, the Reagent Starter Pack, which costs $20 for people who did not have early access. Since I was playing in early access, for me it is $10. I think I'll be purchasing it just to support the game. I don't really care too much about the the outfits themselves, probably, but I'd love to see more content from the game, and I think I've gotten more than my money's worth, so I'd like to continue supporting the devs. Let me see if there's any what else you're going to get from it, just quickly. Okay, so there's a couple icons, which, you know, who cares that much about icons too much? I don't know. Wow, quite a few new outfits. So this is the early access outfit. Pre-order bonus is what they call it, I guess, but same thing really. Pretty cool looking, honestly. Not too bad. And they've also added some new outfits for people for Reborn. I think this is one of them. That one's pretty cool looking. Let's see. Can you like select it so I can rotate it? Maybe I can use my arrow keys. No. Anyway, not too bad. That one's also new. Wow. These are pretty cool, honestly, the new ones. That one's new as well. Another one of the strange ones in the same vein as like this one for the weirdos out there. I'm not sure if that one's new or not. This one definitely is. Ooh, I kind of like that one. That one's pretty cool. And it says like rebirth on your ESOP. That's kind of sick. And so these are the outfits you get from that DLC purchase. That one's kind of like astronaut vibes for me. I don't know. This one, pretty cool. Okay, let's see. Whoa, it's like you're a walking, padded room or whatever. Interesting. And then like kind of like a hazmat suit vibe there. So pretty cool. Those might be the only cosmetic for your character that you get from the DLC. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, seems to be the case. And then you also get for your room. None of these are DLC, but there's so many of them. It's kind of wild how much you're going to have to spend to buy those things. But then medium items, you can get a little Futterman doll, which I thought there was something similar to that already. Yeah, there is. There's this Futterman doll that's standing up, so you get one sitting down instead. Not a big difference. You get, looks like Coil's stun rod on a little holder there, which is kind of cool. And then this weird looking mannequin thing. But that's for the medium items. Are there any small items? There are. A bowl of teeth. Okay, great. Hate that. Police badge. Kind of cool. And some pistachios. Wow, just a flex on everyone else. Show them how rich you are, I guess. Posters. You get the Outlast Trials poster. That's a pretty cool looking poster, honestly. I'm kind of a fan of that. Another one for Gooseberry, and one for Coil as well. So not too bad. Some cool posters, and then some wallpapers you can get. That one's pretty sick, actually. A bunch of like, maybe looks like concept art that they use, or like diagrams of. That's like the stun rod there on the right, and then the maybe like batteries or stuff. That's a pretty cool one. This one's got a bunch of Dr. Futterman drawings on it, interesting looking, and then a newspaper wallpaper, which is also pretty cool. I wonder what all these newspapers actually say. There's quite a few of them on there, it looks like. That's not too bad. And then the floor options, you get a kind of like a chipped looking tile one, not too bad. Plaid rug, and then a newspaper floor as well. You can have the newspaper floor and the newspaper wallpaper. Go fully insane. Like a leather bed cover almost, a Dr. Futterman one. Is that also newspaper? Oh my goodness. You can get the full newspaper room going if you want. So yeah, that's what's available in the DLC pack. I mean, obviously up to you if you think any of that's worth it or you want to purchase it. Like I said, I probably will be doing so just to support the devs over anything else. But yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. That's all that there's been added for the 1.0 release. Again, I'm not too sure how exactly I feel about the changes to the trial program structure. I guess we'll have to see what maybe newer players think about them, since obviously I am just seeing them as a change as opposed to, you know, how the game is laid out. So it might be make more sense, but I do kind of like that they've made it so that there's no change to replaying things, and also you can get your reborn tokens from any trial. I like that quite a bit. Even the weekly therapies, honestly, that's really, really nice. And I will be covering this weekly therapy as usual, although I have already completed this one. I'm not sure if the trial structure is the same as it was or not. I'll have to check my screenshot of the original, but I think it might actually be the same. Either way, I'll be covering that, and then I will definitely do a series on the Program Ultra trials. I'm not 100% sure if I will or will not do Program X. Maybe I will just have this season of Program X as well. Quite a lot of content available. I will not be doing anything for Program Genesis because these are just the base trials with no variators at all. So nothing really to cover there. Although I guess I could show maybe my first attempt at the new trials. I'll consider doing that perhaps, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys are excited to be jumping into this new and improved 1.0 version of the game. I'm looking forward to getting a lot more reborns. I wonder if you can get more than 20 tokens then carry them over. Probably not, but that would be really nice so that you don't have to worry about going and doing your rebirth every 20 that you get. We'll have to see if that's possible or not. Also, absent from this, it seems, is that you still can't like skip that long cutscene at the beginning of every trial. I hope they recircle back on that at some point. But anyways, I will see you guys for some more content coming soon. Peace.